When you hear about a foodborne outbreak on the news, it can feel kind of distant, right? But for public health officials, it's a full-on race against time. So in this explainer, we're going to crack open the playbook they use to stop an outbreak dead in its tracks and, keep us all safe.
So let's imagine the scene. People are getting sick. Dozens, maybe even hundreds. And the clock is ticking. Every minute, more people could be at risk. So what happens right now to get a handle on this?
Well, the response isn't just chaos. It's a super carefully orchestrated process. We're going to start with this core dilemma that officials are always facing. Then we'll dive into the two big phases, controlling the source of the problem and then stopping it from spreading. And finally, we'll look at how they officially call an end to it, and, this is so important, what they do to try and prevent the next one.
Okay, so before a single major decision is made, investigators are caught in this really high-stakes balancing act. And this one challenge, it pretty much shapes every single thing they do from here on out.
This right here is the fundamental tension. On one side, you've got this immense pressure to act fast. I mean, people are sick. You have to stop it. But on the other side, you have to be certain. Because if you get it wrong, if you act on bad info, you could destroy a perfectly innocent business, you could lose public trust, and the economic fallout could be massive. It's a constant tightrope walk between these two things.
So once the investigators have enough evidence to point them in the right direction, the number one priority is to go straight for the source. This is all about cutting off the problem where it started.
And they have three main levers they can pull. First, and most obvious, get the food that's causing the problem off the market. Second, if there's a problem in how the food is being made, you fix that process. And third, if things are really serious, they can just shut the whole place down until it's safe.
And this quote just nails why speed is everything. Think about it, especially with fresh food. It moves so fast from the farm to your plate. Every single hour that goes by means more of that contaminated food has probably been bought and, worse, eaten. It makes trying to get it back almost impossible.
This is why the food recall is such a critical tool. It's the main way to get that bad food off the shelves. A lot of times, a company will do it voluntarily. But if they don't, the health authority can order them to do it. And if they still don't comply, well, officials can literally come in and seize the product themselves.
Okay, so controlling the source is huge. But what about the people who already ate the food and are now sick? The next big step is all about breaking that chain of person-to-person transmission.
And this is where communication with the public, becomes absolutely vital. You'll start seeing clear, simple advice. Things like boil water advisories, instructions to throw out specific foods you might have in your fridge, and big reminders about safe food handling, and of course, hygiene.
Which brings us to the simplest, but honestly the most powerful tool in the entire playbook. It's not fancy, it's not expensive, just plain old hand washing. According to the World Health Organization, it is the single most important thing you can do to stop these kinds of diseases from spreading. It's a total game changer.
Now, sometimes public advice just isn't quite enough. In really high-risk situations, officials have to make a tough call and actually exclude people from work or school. This usually applies to people in really sensitive jobs, like food handlers, or to vulnerable folks, like little kids with symptoms. But on the flip side, people who are healthy can usually go about their day as long as they're practicing good hygiene.
So the contaminated food is off the shelves, and we're getting the person-to-person spread under control. But how do you know when it's, officially over?
So this is a huge misconception. An outbreak doesn't just fizzle out when you stop hearing about new cases. No. A formal group, the Outbreak Control Team, has to look at all the data and make a very deliberate evidence-based decision. It's only over when they say it's over and issue an official statement.
The immediate crisis might be done, but the work is so not over. Now comes what you could argue is the most important phase of all, learning from what just happened so we can make sure it doesn't happen again. This all goes down in a formal debriefing. The whole team gets together and asks the really tough questions. Did the things we did actually work? What bigger systemic changes do we need to make? Where did we mess up in our investigation? And the answers to those questions are used to update the entire playbook for the next time.
And the stakes for getting this right are just enormous. I mean, look at the costs of an outbreak. They ripple out across the entire society. It's not just the food company that takes a hit. The biggest piece of the pie usually goes to healthcare. Then there are the costs to the public, like lost wages, and of course the cost of the investigation itself.
And that kind of brings us to the big final question, doesn't it? We've gotten really good at stopping outbreaks once they start. We have this solid playbook. But the real challenge is prevention. It makes you wonder, are our systems actually set up to get ahead of these things? Or are we just getting better and better at cleaning up the mess?